So let's get started. The first thing I wanted to ask you was like your background in general. Would you mind like to introduce yourself?
I'm Ready Player Emma, and so I kind of come from a background of computer engineering and information security engineering, and I found VR back in I think it was December of 2018 was when I got my first VR setup, and I kind of stayed away from the gaming world up until that point for several years. Uh, I had spent a bit much time gaming, and I thought that after a while I realized that leveling up my real life character might be something that would be a better use of my time for a while. So I strayed from that because, sitting down in front of a screen is not exactly the most healthy activity. Um, but when VR came around, a lot of that changed. I didn't really believe that VR was as far along as it was, but one of
Mm,
my coworkers, he knew that VR was, further along than I gave it credit for. I had just used like phone VR and things. So what happened is he invited me to his house to try out his Vive, which was, one of the early room scale tracking VR setups that you could get. And so I went out there and I tried that, and I was just immediately transfixed by this experience of you put on this headset and you would think that you're just like seeing another world, but it's actually
exactly.
not that. It's actually not that at all. Um, you put on this headset and yes, there's a screen and you're seeing another place, but that's not what it is. You put on the headset and you are standing in another place. Because what a lot of people don't get is when you put the screen on, all of your movements are mirrored perfectly to your viewpoint in the screen. So so it really your mind at that point, because of that situation, and that you can move around in the virtual world like while moving around in the physical world, or
Yeah, exactly.
vice versa. It really changes everything when you have that level of immersion. Purchasing VR wasn't for entertainment. I was looking at it in terms of leveling up my real life character, so to speak. So I was like, okay, how is this going to affect my life? Like logically thinking about the benefits and drawbacks. And I was like, okay, on the one hand, I'm going to improve my fitness because I have this new like fun factor that's going to make me want to do this more often. And so that actually was quite accurate. I actually played enough Beat Saber that I ended up losing like 20 pounds playing Beat Saber over the first few months of having VR. So that was quite incredible and unexpected. Then I also knew that there were VR social experiences. Like I had never experienced it myself, but I knew it was there. One of my friends actually told me about VR chat and was trying to get me to try it before I ever really accepted that VR was as credible and impactful as it had gotten to at this point. So one day I logged into VR chat and my mind was blown. I actually have a little bit of social anxiety at times. So logging into VR chat, I was a little bit uncomfortable at first, and I was like, I don't even know how to like work this avatar. Like I'm a little worried that I'm gonna just come off like a total noob. But I went into the hub world from the little like training area, and I like saw people and talked to them, and all of a sudden it was starting to click that, this is so much more. Not only is it an immersive environment like Beat Saber that can provide real life benefits, but this is something completely different than humanity has ever had before as a way of remotely interacting with other people.
I think it's great. I mean, you say so many things that basically you already answered my last question. That was, how do you think it will impact, or do you think if virtual reality is going to impact for the best a society?
VR is like anything else. It is any other new technology. There is a lot of potential, a lot of capability to shape our world in new and interesting ways. But as with any new technology, especially something as advanced and world-changing as what it is, it has the potential for good and bad effects on the world. And we need to carefully understand as we move into this new space that potential. And we need to make sure it doesn't get, turned into a way where it's less individually beneficial to people at large. And we want to avoid accidentally allowing the technology to shift into a situation where it's not beneficial to us individually as humans, or like in general for long-term human society collectively. So VR can just make everyone's lives better in that way. Companies have access to more talent, individuals have access to more career options. Like, that's empowering and beautiful. And empowering those borders going away so that you can interact with someone from anywhere in the world and recognize that there are more similarities between people than there are differences. And that in spite of the different ideological disputes going on between different groups, when it comes right down to it, if a member of one group goes and meets a member of that other group that might be considered in opposition or something, if they're not labeling themselves as that when they're meeting initially and don't realize that, like when you sit down and talk with them, like you're just people, you're just two people, and those differences don't exist. Those borders don't exist, whether they be physical borders or ideological borders. It helps you recognize that we are all just people, and that's what the world needs, and that's what VR has the power to give people access to. Like, I love that Richard Branson went off into space and wants to make space available to everyone. But do you know what would be better? Virtual
What?
space available to everyone. Because
Mm,
deleting those borders means that we can come together as a global population, and I hope can end up resolving a lot of disputes.
very, very well said. So, Emma, I think we are done. Thank you very much. It's been really, really great listening to you. Looking forward
Yeah,
for more for more
I
classes. Yeah.
it's been awesome. I'm so happy to have the opportunity to talk with you all, and I hope you have an awesome day. Take care.